Hello! Let's do this orthographic projection worksheet together. The reason I'm having you do some orthographic stuff is because all of our drawings are going to rely on orthographic projection to communicate the entirety of a shape, the entirety of a flat, of a platform, all of the things. And it's important for us to have a good understanding of how each of the views relates to each other and where we can expect to see lines that represent the same surface or the same edge. So the way that this spreadsheet, or it's not a spreadsheet, the way that this worksheet works is you're given the isometric view, so you have a good idea of what it looks like in 3D or with the dimensions and the depth shown in the same drawing as all of the things. And then you're given two views, and the third view of that object is missing. So on exercise 1, it's the top view that we're missing. We're missing the side on exercise 2. We're missing the front view on exercise 3, etc., etc. All of these views, or with the views given, there is enough information to be able to draw that third view without having to take a single measurement, which is fantastic. The other thing that this gives us is a good understanding of how those things relate to each other relative to dimensions. So, for example, here on this front view and side view, all of those lines line up. All of the top lines up with the top. This ledge here lines up with the ledge here. The bottom lines up with the bottom. What that means is that I don't have to dimension those on every single view. If I wanted to dimension something, I can just dimension it once, and in fact I would probably do that on this side view to try to keep stuff out of the middle. And this dimension applies to this one as well as this one. And then same thing here. If I need this dimension, they apply this given dimension here applies to this one as well. So it's good for us to know and understand how all of those lines relate to each other. Whoops, I deleted a bunch of stuff. Let me lock that. It's good for us to understand how all of the lines in an orthographic projection relate to each other so that we can be a little bit more efficient with our dimensioning later. And also so that we can read the drawings that we're going to be getting, because we will be getting drawings with orthographic projection. Okay, let's see. Where do I start? The first thing I'm going to do is to drop in guidelines. So if you read the instructions, it tells you to make sure all construction lines are on the guides layer. So I'm going to double click on that to activate it. And then I'm going to use X line, or just XL spacebar, and then V for vertical line, to place a bunch of vertical lines everywhere where I see one on both of these views. Then I'm going to do a horizontal construction line, and I'm going to place it there. You will notice that when I drew these, all of this stuff lines up. That's because we like things to look nice and neat, but also because we want edges that represent the same thing to line up with each other. So the ground here is always the same. The front edge here is always the same, just so that things look and line up correctly from drawing to drawing. Granted, these are not set pieces, but it's a good idea to start getting into some of these good habits. Okay, I don't need that one at the moment. So we're going to put in a 45-degree line here, because a 45-degree triangle has some special properties, and that is that this edge is the same length as this edge when this angle here is 45 degrees. That means that if I dimension this, Look at that, 5/16. That this one, oh, I should have gone the other way. That this one will also be 5/16. That means that I can use my 45-degree angle to transfer the dimensions from here to here. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put in horizontal lines, and everywhere that my diagonal 45-degree construction line intersects with that vertical, I'm going to place a horizontal line. What that does is now gives me a good idea and transfers all the dimensions from the side view and the top view in their correct proportions to this space here. Now I can go ahead and put in the lines that represent, select it. I don't know why double click is not working. There it goes. Now I can go ahead and put in the lines that represent the edges that I would see from the top. So I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and this edge lines up here. Where does that edge line up? Or here, this is the front. So this is representing the front left corner. So I start my rectangle there, and I pull it across to the back edge here and the right edge here. And it ends up like that. Then I can look at this smaller shape up top. This one goes to here. So there's that. This one goes here. So I'm looking at the front left edge of that shape. This transfers across. That means where those two cross is where I start my command. And then we go to the back right side. The back side is here. The right side is here. Click there. And that's it. That's all you need. For the purposes of this assignment, I'm going to have you trim and clean those up so that the lines are just inside each box rather than all over the place. And just because I'm me, I'm going to really trim it so that it doesn't look messy. Great. Okay, let's do one more, and let's do one with hidden lines. So let's do exercise 5 together. So I'm going to go in, put in my construction lines. Oh, I need to change layers. Go back to guides. I really don't understand what is happening here. I'm just going to do it this way. It's going to be great. All right. Oh, I don't need a horizontal one, but let me drop that one right there. Excel space V to do vertical lines. And I'm going to put a guide everywhere there is a vertical line. Same thing on my side view. I'm going to do another construction line. That's a 45-degree angle. And then a horizontal line everywhere those two lines intersect. Okay. Now, I can see this edge is here. This is the front. So this right here is my front right corner. Let's go ahead and do the back. That's the right side, and that's the back. So right side and the back. So I know, oops, I should change my layer. Go to my working layer. Start a rectangle command and place that there. Great. So this little column here that sits underneath needs to be placed, but that's going to be a hidden line. So I need to activate my hidden line layer and figure out where it lives. So this is the left side. That's this edge. This is the front side there. That means this is my front left. This is the back. That's here. This is the right. So I'm going front left to back right. I'm going to use a rectangle tool again. And there we go. There we have it. That's it. But hopefully you can see how that relationship between... Sorry, I'm trying to talk and do things at the same time. How the relationship between those two views transfers very easily to another and makes our lives a lot easier, especially if we understand how the convention works. So when you turn this in at the beginning of the semester, we should see all of these construction lines within your drawings, as well as the appropriate usage of layers and the correct views. If you have any questions, let me know, and have fun with this. Orthos by hand are kind of fun sometimes. It's like a little puzzle. All right, have a good one.